Welcome to Morning Java, brought to you, of course, by Get-Go Cafe and Market, which always has fresh food available.
Always got fresh food. I had a nice smoothie there earlier today when I was there with Dan. We did our Facebook Live. Always a happy place to be at Get-Go.
Well, now, of course, you can also buy beer there, which Steeler fans are going to need to drown their sorrows after the Steelers were, well, just when you thought they had a chance.
Just
when you thought they had a chance.
The
Browns ripped it out.
I mean, and I got to tell you, those catches, Rashad Perriman with the tippy toe catch, I still don't think he got that second foot down. And then you had Jarvis Landry with the right under the catch. And then eventually the Ravens defense is like, okay, enough of this. And they were able to finish the job. And you saw 4th and 10. They brought the blitz on Mayfield. He wasn't able to really get focused through an interception. But, you know, if we're going to talk about the Browns, they fought hard. They were down 20-7. They couldn't figure out anything early. Their defense couldn't stop Lamar Jackson in the option run. And eventually when they did figure it out, they just needed one more drive, and it's just tough to ask your rookie quarterback to go out in an opposing environment and do that. But wait, did we cover the Browns or the Steelers?
We covered the Steelers. The Steelers, of course, won 16-13 to set all of that up. It was tougher than anybody thought it was going to be because I'll tell you what, the Bengals did a nice job defensively. They didn't have to worry about having Antonio Brown in this game, and so they double-teamed Juju Smith-Schuster and basically just told the other receivers on the team, go ahead and try to beat us for a long period of time in this game. That didn't happen, but they finally figured things out on the Steelers sideline. James Washington with the big catch on the double move, the 47-yard gain that really came at a time when the Steelers needed it in just such a bad way. And the defense did enough against what was really a subpar offense at this point.
Highly limited.
Yeah, highly limited to just Joe Mixon and little else. And they won the game. They did what they had to do.
All right, Matt, you were in some crazy hysteria. I never in my life thought I would hear cheers of here we go Cleveland, here we go, or let's go Baker.
Yeah, man, it was wild. Players on the field were looking around the stands and saying, like, these guys are cheering for the Browns right now. It was such a weird, just anything to be a part of. I've been a part of, college court rushes and field rushes. This was the weirdest and wildest scene I've ever been a part of on a football field. I mean, these guys, I'm like laying down behind Bud Dupree, trying to get the big screen and him in the shot, and then Tyler Medokevich comes over, and then all of a sudden there's like 8 guys standing there, and they're jumping up and down as they're making the calls for the the tiptoe catch out there, and man, they're just watching that game, and it was crazy.
I thought when we were here last year for the Ravens game, when the clock ran out, when no one knew what was happening, I thought that was the craziest ending. This, not even involving the Steelers game, just having to watch that was just so bizarre to me.
No, and it was wild, and they kept cutting to the Steelers game from the broadcast of the Ravens and the Browns, and they're showing Juju. He's getting everybody hyped up. I don't think a single person left the stands.
It was. I stepped out as I was in the cafeteria keeping track of both games. I stepped out and I was like, no one has left. Everyone is here to see this ending.
Ben Roethlisberger headed down the tunnel. He didn't want to wait it out and see on the field. But, man, there was a group of guys. It was Marcus Allen. It was Mike Hilton. It was Bud Dupree. A couple other guys. They were just – this was the group that was going to explode. Yeah. They were going to be calling for people from the stands. Yeah. It was going to look like the Immaculate Reception had just happened. And then it all just kind of went away.
And again, tough situation for Baker Mayfield to pull it out, but he gets a lot of credit for putting him in this chance, giving him the chance to win that game. But hey, buddy, that was a crazy way. If you had guessed me, if you had told me this was how the season was ending, I would never. I would have called you drunk. All right, Dale. We talked about the game. We talked about the Browns game. Let's talk about what everyone's talking about, and that's the season. 9-6-1. Deion asked Tomlin if this is an underachieving season. Tomlin just sort of shot the question down. Didn't want to talk about that. But, I mean, everyone has to agree this is an underachieving season.
Well, sure. When you don't make the playoffs, and your expectation was to compete for a Super Bowl, and you don't even get the chance to do that, yes, you underachieved. Now, the blame for this, I know people want to blame the head coach and blame this and blame that. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people to blame for this. It's not just the head coach. It's not just the players. It's not just the league or the officials. There's a lot involved here. There are a number of games that you look at. Just running down the schedule here in Denver. Yeah, they lose that game.
Grimble's
fumble was huge.
Connor's fumble.
The
two second half picks.
And to me, I think those things are what
carried the Steelers more.
Yes, the turnovers.
Yes.
When I look at the turnover margin and ratio for this season, that's the number one reason why the Steelers failed to make the playoffs
And
this year.
how many times did they have I've been saying this for about 2 weeks now. They've had their foot on someone's throat. The Browns game, up 21-7. All of a sudden, Connor fumbles. All of a sudden, another interception. Then more fumbles from Ben Roethlisberger. You got the Broncos game. You had Grimble's fumble. Even after that, they had recovered. 97-yard touchdown from Juju. Then the Ben Roethlisberger interception. Then you think they've recovered from that? James Conner fumbles. Then they get down to the goal line, interception. And the Chargers game, they had one turnover. But the Saints game, 2 crucial fourth quarter fumbles. It just seems every time this team had a chance to, not every time, but a lot of times in big games, they had a chance to put a team away, and just the most bizarre mistakes in the complete wrong moments.
Yeah, and they were all across the roster.
Right,
That's
yeah.
the other part of it. It wasn't just one guy. Now, you can say Roethlisberger threw 16 interceptions.
That's averaging 1 a game,
But he also
threw 5,000 yards.
threw for 5,000 yards, threw 34 touchdown passes. They're not in this position without the way he played this year. And when you throw the ball as much as he did, you're going to turn the ball over on occasion, because that's just what happens with the passing game.
And when you can't rely on, this team relied a lot on Le'Veon Bell in key situations.
Nobody wants to hear that.
No, but that's the truth. And this year, you can't. You can't rely on James Conner in the biggest of big moments. So sometimes, it's going to put a lot of pressure on Ben Roethlisberger. He's going to have to make some tough choices. And sometimes, he made a bad throw, but it happens when you have to force the ball in the air that much.